Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Moxley Bugg and this is my poem, God of the Daughters. Sister, I see you with your alabaster jar. The men were scandalized at your use of that expensive perfume. They didn't understand, how could they? It was the seemliest thing you could do when what you really wanted was to wrap your arms around that man and never let go, to melt into him so you could dwell in him forever, because you were addicted. Because he looked at you like you were the woman in Solomon's song, made you believe you could hold kings captive in your tresses. He was the redemption to Eve's fall. All womankind's desire was for him, for his role was tender and nurturing. Mary, I understand what Martha couldn't see, that every moment with this man was precious, that you didn't have a choice, that you were drawn to him, because when he looked at you, he saw every piece of yourself, valued every shard and shadow sitting at his feet. He ruined you for mortal men. Because he looked at you like you were the woman in Solomon's song, made you believe you could hold kings captive in your tresses. He was the redemption to Eve's fall. All womankind's desire was for him, for his role was tender and nurturing. Sisters, I weep as you bear witness to his last moments, even though it ripped at your heart to see him suffer. All the men had fled. They didn't understand, how could they? You had to be near him for however long he was left on this earth. You had to count his breaths, because it was his breath in your lungs. You'd suffocate without him. Because he looked at you like you were the woman in Solomon's song, made you believe you could hold kings captive in your tresses. He was the redemption to Eve's fall. All womankind's desire was for him, for his rule was tender and nurturing. Mary Magdalene, what harrowing thoughts plagued your mind as you walked to his tomb with your spices, prepared to have your heart broken all over again, seeing him so cold, so still, praying that you reached him before the smell of decay polluted his body, the brutal business of preparing a body for death. So you couldn't resist touching him one more time, to perform this final act of love before he turned to dust. Because he had looked at you like you were the woman in Solomon's song, made you believe you could hold kings captive in your tresses. He had been the redemption to Eve's fall. All womankind desire was for him, for his role was tender and nurturing. Beloved, what cruel shock to find him missing. You had braced yourself for death and decay, not for him to be gone in every sense of the word. They had stolen your last chance to be close to him, taken the only thing you had left. Bring him back, you cried to the stone walls. Bring him back, you pleaded with the gardener at the mouth of the cave. Mary, your name, so simple and all you needed to know, to believe the impossible. Mary, said the voice that held every fractured piece of you. You wrapped yourself around his feet, his warm, life-filled feet, making you whole again. You wanted to dwell in him forever, but he asked you to tell the others, and you could never refuse him. Because he looked at you like you were the woman in Solomon's song, made you believe you could hold kings captive in your tresses. He was the redemption to Eve's fall. All womankind's desire was for him, for his role was tender and nurturing. The men didn't understand, how could they? You had his breath in your lungs while they still wept in the shadows, so afraid of pain that they missed the joy. The men didn't understand, how could they? You spent your life leaning into pain, searching for answers in it, finding only shame, until one day you met a man at a well. He was the answer to Eve's curse. The men didn't understand, how could they? You spent your life treated like a shadow of a human and admonished to make yourself even less, until this man came along to give you substance, making it clear that you could never be too much for him. The men don't understand, how can they? All our lives, women are admonished to make ourselves less until this man comes along and makes it clear we can never be too much for him. He looks at you like you are the woman in Solomon's song, makes you believe you can hold kings captive in your tresses. He is the redemption to Eve's fall. Our desire is for him, for his rule is tender and nurturing.